Hey everyone, thanks once again for tuning in. We're gonna do another weekly chart breakdown. This week we gonna do a little short one as you're not looking at a whole lot. Potentially looking at GU, GJ, gold, and we probably look at AJ as well. So let's get into it. So with EURUSD, we had taken some buys as of last week, ideally to retest this broken area here that we had based off the daily time frame. So this level was broken but was never retested, and they're looking for that pullback into this area before continuing anything else. So I also have this trend line at the top, just monitoring as we go along. So we had taken the buys here, but as you see, price gave a nice little push up. Then it came back for a retrace once again. So we got just about 40 pip off of that move. Came back close to our entry, and now we're waiting to see how this one plays out. Ideally, I'm still looking for it to tap into these areas as it has not completed the fib at all. So yes, price can push higher, maybe to even retest this trend line, but I'm doing a step by step with this one. So ideally, just looking to take advantage of it, retesting this blue zone, and it's pretty much in the same area where we have the TP2 for the fib. So I'm still keen on that happening. So this is what I'm looking at for EU. I see where we had some retest here for levels that were broken. So it's a possibility that once market opens, it can just get going. And then a second entry would have been a break and retest of this high. So that's what I'm pretty much looking at as it relates to Euro USD. So on to GJ. Price had finally broken out of this consolidation range right up here, which been waiting on that move to happen for some time. So based on the fact that price finally closed below this gray area here, it is indicating that there's a strong possibility now for price to actually continue bearish to at least retest these levels here. So this overall trend line is some higher time frame. As you can see, it's a daily trend line. Price was indeed sitting on it here, but it's something where you can still look at it to say we had a break and retest. It is a major trend line, hence why you see price even going through it at times. But as it relates to GJ, what I'm looking at the opening of the market is I'm looking for a potential retest back into this zone before continuing the sells. So I'd be looking at that primarily if we get it on the 30 minutes, that would be fine. It can sell off from where it's at right now. It can continue. It can also be a minor retest of this minor area here, specifically on the 15 minutes, but I'm not really looking for that. So what I'm looking for is I want to see this push back into this area, give a retest that will give the entry for the continued sells. And overall on GJ, this is going to be a swing position for me once I get the entry, as I'm looking to have this fib completed based on overall major structure. And then this would be the first move that will confirm the actual swing trade. So that's what I'm looking at for on GJ. All right, so on um, AUD JPY. So we're looking at some potential sells. As you see, the arrow is indicating that we're looking for rejections here. We didn't get the rejection, so this trade was not taken. Now, where price is at? This is a minor trend line. We'll get into that when we change the time frame. But as you can see right here, we have a price sensitivity area right at this level. And we can see where price actually came into it. So we're going to use this level being that it is more recent, where we have rejection, rejection here, rejection, and then we came up to give it a retest here. So ideally, I'm also looking at sells for AUD JPY. Now, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see a break of this level. And once we get the break, so this is going to be more so of an impulse entry, kind of entry, based on the fact that we would have already retested the trend line here, which would have been the ideal entry. So if price comes down and gets back up to retest the trend line once again, or even the zone once again, then we could look to take the sells, put stops above the highs here, and target our lows. So that is what I'm looking at as it relates to AJ. So something like this or something like this, whichever way it plays, but I'm looking at potential sells for AUD JPY as it as well has broken to the downside. The only thing that's of concern is that this 4 hour left a long wick, but that can be just for a wick fill to happen back down to the lows here. But it is a strong rejection from these levels based on the 4 hour time frame. So keeping that in mind as well. So hence why we're just waiting for the confirmation. So you see on the daily, it really rejected from this area here. Um, but overall, I'm still waiting to see what will happen, what sort of confirmation it's going to give. So AJ is not super clean as it relates to as a you want to compare a GJ or an EU. So waiting on a little bit more of data on AJ in order to take that trade. Now, last but not least is we're going to be looking at gold. Now, gold has been super bullish for the longest while, so we're looking into that. Now, I had this fib placed on here, price pulled back, respected this zone, and then we bought up straight up to a TP1. However, now got a second confirmation on the 4 hour where we have a 4 hour trend line break and a retest for potential buys to either retest these highs or to actually complete the fib. So want to stay alert as it relates to this one. Price closed with a minor pullback to retest these areas here. So we can't forget what happened to the left. We have to keep that in mind as well. So as you can see, it's an area of interest based on candle patterns and how they were printed. All right. So we're looking at that. And then on the 30 minutes, this is what it is. So ideally, what I'd like to see is I'd want market to open and give an additional confirmation for the buys. No, because it's gold, I do have to be careful. Try not to force it. So from this level, price can really push up. However, if we're going to look for additional positions, then we'd want to wait to see price give a break and a retest of the trend line to continue up, or we could get a break and a retest of this high to continue up. So that is what I'm looking at for gold, um, primarily for the earlier part of this week or for this week in general, based on how it actually plays out, how long it takes to play out. So these are the actual pairs that I'm looking at taking positions on come this week. And happy trading. Thank you all for joining once again.